Welcome back to another episode of Event Advice. I am joined by Will Custard.
Hello.
Our CPO, Chief Product Officer at CrowdComms. Today, our title. Now, sometimes we get titles we don't always agree with.
Yeah, I mean, they throw anything at us, don't they?
Yeah, in a nice way.
Oh, in a nice way.
It
came out negative, but
did.
It's positive.
This time, I agree with some of, but not all of. So just be completely and utterly blunt and honest and hit me with whatever you think, okay?
Good.
So, topic today is the power of simple. Why event tech doesn't need to be complicated. So, let's just start with what's the purpose of, why do people use tech?
Yeah, absolutely. Like my background, user experience design, user-centered design, is all about trying to figure out what the problem is and designing things that make that more straightforward for everyone than the multiple pieces of technology they might be using or the very ill thought out, clunky, old ways of doing things. So yeah, that's what technology can do. It's the power of it.
It's kind of to make it easier for people implementing it, better for the end user, and what we're increasingly seeing, more cost effective. People save time.
Yeah, you want, when you're reviewing a lot of software, you want as much bang for your buck as possible, don't you? Budgets are being squeezed all over the place, and you want to be able to know, you don't have to necessarily have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of software that you're all logging into doing the same thing, trying to configure your event across lots of different technologies. You want a bit of technology that's going to take up a few more of those.
So simpler is better?
Simpler is the goal. As simple as possible is the goal.
Events aren't simple, though.
Events are not simple. I am yet to see an event organizer that's not spinning lots of different plates, trying to do lots of things and wants to put on the best event that they can.
Yeah.
The technology shouldn't make things harder. If you're trying to achieve something, you certainly don't want, you're going to lose faith in a piece of software pretty quickly if it's just a headache every time you try and do something with it. So it has to be simple, but it can't, simpler.
We do thousands of events a year, which isn't a brag, it's just what we do. So we see lots of different people running events. We support people running events. You do see people that come from it from two different sides. You get a planner who is focused on the simplicity for them and their team because they are flat out. And not saying they don't care about the outcome, the result of the technology, but it is about, look, I need to make this more efficient for my team.
Yeah.
I need roles and permissions so they see the bit of the platform that they need to work in. It needs to be quicker for us to deploy. And they do care about the outcome, but that is the driver. And then you get planners who say, show me how I desperately need to boost our networking. We're absolutely obsessive about making sure we get good meetings with the right people and we get feedback that gives us something to go back and look at the quality of those meetings, whether we got it right, what was the outcome of those meetings, what business was generated, what conversations were encouraged. And that is their focus. It is a bit, I'm saying that it is different though, isn't it? When we talk to people, their approach to it is different.
100%. And I think probably, even if you're trying, let's take that networking piece, for example. If that is your focus of your event and you really want to maximize that, yes, you need to make it as simple as possible for the delegates. So there's some complexity there and you want to make that nice and straightforward. But if you're reporting on that and you want all the data and you want to be able to control the experience, there's a lot of complexity from the administration side of things as well. The thing I think enterprise software has always been guilty of is it's built by technology first. So can it do the thing that I want it to do? And I don't really mind how complicated that is to set up because it's a complex thing you're trying to do. The revolution in enterprise software over the last 5 to 10 years has been about improving the UX for the organizer, not just in events, just enterprise software generally.
Yeah.
They've realized you can't just have a a CTO just focusing on functionality and have like all the admin dashboards all really complicated and hard to deal with. You have to make both as nice as possible.
So I know we don't love talking about AI, do we? Is that fair?
That's very fair. I think we don't love talking about AI.
But look at that meeting tool that not just us, other people do it as well. So there's loads of people using AI to do matchmaking. One of the big wins with that is that it is just all automated and you just get matched.
Yeah.
You're organized. It's easy for them, isn't it? Turn on the module.
Yeah.
As long as you know that the key bit is, when I think about simplicity, I think about using the things that you need to use and not using things for the sake of it. So I think you can, as long as you know your objectives, you know what success looks like, then we can implement technology efficiently. As long as it is simple, I think the key bit when we use the word simple is the end user. Does it make sense? I land on it and can I use it quickly? That's the absolute key, that user interface for the end user.
Usability, learnability. It's those bits that get you, can you onboard people quickly? As soon as someone, they call it cognitive load. There are lots of different points at which you can add to that cognitive load. If you're stopping and thinking a lot about using something, eventually you're going to just give up.
Yeah.
So you want to make it as intuitive as possible. That's why you see patterns in design, which, this is why AI is able to do what it can do, is because over the last 10 years, there has been a drive in user experience design, and it's kind of given a kind of benchmark to what software should be able to do. And if you've seen it somewhere else, you take that inspiration, you use it in yours, because the pattern is very familiar to people.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to onboard people much quicker. What I would say about anything really, but AI as well, is it's still about, if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out.
Yeah.
So if you put a basic prompt into AI, you're not going to get a great result. Coca-Cola just did their whole advert, their Christmas advert, in AI, and it's 70,000 lines of a prompt.
So it's incredibly technical.
It's very, very difficult to do properly.
Was it good? I've not seen it.
So it's the same as you'd expect from a Coca-Cola advert.
Do you think it saved a lot of time and a lot of budget, even though it was 70,000?
No, I think they just moved it. What they would have done in
So
CGI
why have they chosen
previously,
to move it? If it's the same cost and the same time and same output?
Because of the race of investment in AI. It's, that's what people are looking to invest in. If you get to the point where you are the Google of AI, so when we had the search engine revolution and Google just completely took over.
Pain in the ass, but anyway, go on.
If you're that with AI, that's 20x of what Google did to the internet generally.
You can't just, I know this, I'm just going to sound like a bitter person here, but you can't just have good software. You've got to work out the whole point of search engine optimization. That's been a minefield for 15 years. I'm not very good at it, just being really upfront. I've never really done particularly well with it. And I look at our competitors and see how much better they are often with it, and I'm devastated. But we don't have time because we're so platform obsessed.
It's a fairly dark
art,
though.
It is a dark art, yeah. You've got to throw money and time at it.
Yeah, and
is it going to be the same with AI? We're going to have to throw money and time at AI to leverage it. It's going to be a race to the AI algorithms, isn't it?
Well, again, I don't know if people are necessarily going to visit websites the way they used to.
Yeah.
You get the information you want in a text form out of AI. With images, you obviously pull your images in as well. If you're evaluating event tech software,
yeah,
you don't necessarily need to visit the CrowdComms website and all the other websites.
I don't think, and if I'm wrong, you can replay this a million times in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
People are not going to be building their websites. These big businesses are not going to be building their websites in AI. They're not going to be building complex event apps in AI. the output is just not good enough. And every event is so different. You've
too
got to
nuanced.
build in ridiculous complexity.
It is too nuanced.
It's too nuanced. It will happen at some point. It's years.
I think it will replace the bottom end of a lot of things. The stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap. I don't really care. Well, it's not fair to say I don't really care about the outcome, but I want the super basic homepage agenda. That's all I want.
The thing is with a piece of technology like ours and all of the others out there, a company, big company, you mentioned Coca-Cola, let's just use them. They're investing a huge amount of money into their website. They invest a huge amount of money into apps or virtual platforms with sales. They do the hard work once, and then they just reuse the work they've done.
Yeah.
So it's a once, they're investing that time from a design perspective, a brand perspective once. They might create 5 templates that they use across an event portfolio. You might be able to build a Coca-Cola platform you could use our platform to do it all in AI, and it might take a tenth the time, but it's not as good.
All the work's gone in before that, though.
Exactly, yeah.
You can't avoid
We're just
the work.
applying the brand they've already done,
You
aren't
can't
we?
avoid the work.
Yeah.
You cannot avoid the basics.
Fewer moving parts equals fewer risks. And I think about a conversation you were on last night where I think the client had 9 different pieces of technology they were using. There shouldn't be risks if you do your due diligence, even if you're using a complex stack for your event technology. But where are the risks? Is it transfer of data? Is it that integration risk across a complex platform? Or is it the risk that there's different user experience for the end user? Or is the risk that you're having to build in 9 places, which is massively time efficient?
There's risk all over the place. So it depends what you see as the most important risk to you. The data piece, we've got clients where the data is the most important thing.
Yep.
Security, multi-factor authentication, making sure the data is secure, making sure people who they don't want to be able to access that platform can't access it, roles and permissions, all of that stuff. So we're all about mitigating risk, and we do it in a few different ways. And part of that risk is the software going to work? So can it scale for a huge audience? What if everyone is going to log in at 9 o'clock in the morning? And you learn that through experience in software anyway. Like, what is your software's pain point? Where is it going to pinch?
Yeah.
Where are you going to bottleneck? Where's the problems going to be? And then you try and put resource and allocate things to making sure that that risk is as low as possible. Software, like there's always a risk of...
But there's always going to be moving parts. I think I have conversations with people and you say to them, what do you need it to do? It always does some things that we don't do.
Yeah.
I don't have people that know us come to us and say, build us a website, do some ticketing, get us a badge, give us an app, track it, or we want to run a virtual series or a webinar series, or building a community platform. They're all yeses. We want to track delegate movement. Yeah, fine. We do that. But there's still loads of stuff we don't do. So that kind of all-in-one I almost doesn't truly exist. So is it just about trying to simplify the stack, and do you have to make compromises? I don't know if simplicity is always... I almost think the fewer moving parts isn't always the best solution. Sometimes, as long as you do your due diligence, you can use 3 or 4 vendors because you love what they do, piece it together, and it just works.
They play together nicely.
If people can't integrate with others, there's something fundamentally wrong with their tech stack.
Absolutely. Yeah, you cannot assume you are not one piece of software in a suite of different applications that people are using, because you can't do everything.
Global event budgets are tighter. Complexity will increase cost. Simple tools maximize value and prove return. I am seeing a tightening of budgets globally. I think particularly in the US, we're getting some feedback there.
Yeah.
Selfishly, that's not bad for us because of our price point. I think I always jokingly say to people when I'm on calls in the US or anywhere, okay, take a seat, I'm going to tell you the price. And then I'll say, how was it? And I am increasingly getting, the only reason is sit down because I'm amazed how cost effective that is. Yeah. Don't want to use the word cheap, how cost effective that is. I think people are spending a lot on tech there, and when it squeezes, selfishly, we're actually probably in a good place. But I think there is definitely a tightening of budgets in the US. I haven't seen so much of it in the UK and in Europe, if I'm honest. And I think across the Middle East, I haven't seen so much of it, but I'm seeing a slight tightening there. Obviously, when you have tightening of budgets, you are possibly, from a cost perspective, it's advantageous to try and use one tool that can do as much of it as possible.
It's where you might look for more compromise, I guess. It's like, do we really need that piece of software in this suite that we're
People don't like using the word compromise. With CrowdComms, there's zero compromise, but there's always going to be some give and take. It doesn't matter who it is.
Look, I mean, luckily we're in an industry that everyone wants to push their next event will be better than the last event. I don't think we're not unique as an industry in that regard, but we have a lot of communication with our clients, and you definitely you cannot speak to hundreds of people like we do and not have the ambitions of people. Oh, it'd be great if it could do that. Like we loved the event, and it actually gave us a great idea for next year to do this. It's like, oh, can it do that yet? Okay, no, it can't do that yet.
But people ask for the same things.
Yeah, there's commonalities.
Whenever I'm on calls with you, there's that nod of acknowledgement. Yeah, okay, well, 4 people have asked for that in the last 20 debrief calls we've done.
Yep.
And that's just a reality that you've got to get on and build it, or just accept that you don't.
Absolutely. Sometimes there's hard choices to be made that's just not really a thing that we think will benefit our software.
One thing that is guaranteed with our software and all of the other softwares out there, the objective is to improve the outcome, but the objective is to save that admin time so that they can do, well, it says here real work, but quite often the technology is as much the real work as anything else, but it is a time saver, isn't it?
So it came up yesterday when we were talking to these clients that we built all of the software. So we have quite a strict design system, particularly for, we have it on the front end. Obviously, we have a design system on the front end, but we also have design systems for the admin section, the dashboard, which means, and it's something we didn't really have 10 years ago. We've done a lot of work in the last 5 or 6 years to improve this, is to make sure that if we build a new piece of functionality, it's in the same pattern as the last piece and the last piece and the last piece. So if you know how to use one bit,
you know how to use all of it.
Relearn it.
Yeah. Oh, by the time I'm in a demo now, and I go through building your badge, and then I show how you build an event website and your form, and I come onto the app, they're like, oh, so it's a WYSIWYG, but the same. It looks identical. It is.
And that's where it's tricky if you acquire software.
Because they're built in different ways.
There's a lot of reverse engineering going on. There's a lot of, it's slightly, yes, you've paid for one piece of software, but you might be relearning things in different areas and things like that. So that's where it's tricky.
So when you're looking for a technology partner, obviously find tech that solves the problem, provides a sensible solution that is easy to use. I'd say choose a technology company where you obviously buy into the people and you feel that they have integrity, that you've got the support. One thing I can guarantee with our tech, and there's a uncomfortable truth in our industry at the moment, that lots of technology companies are suffering. You've got these big businesses backed by investment that are having to gun for numbers that they can't deliver. Mm-hmm. You have to be mindful of that at the minute as well, because it's challenging, but for us it's positive because there's brilliant people at these businesses that are coming to us and we learn. Yeah. We learn from them, and what we are learning is that we've got really user-friendly tech. We've got tech where you can understand it and build in it really quickly, and that's what you need at the minute. If you're time poor, you need something you can use quickly. You need something that's cost effective because the budgets are down. That's definitely CrowdComms. It's sounding like a sales pitch rather than event advice. I've got to stop it. But
that's what people should be looking for generally. They might not choose us.
Yeah,
that's what they should be out there looking for. And when, the word simple kind of
makes it feel a bit like they're talking
makes
about me.
Well, yes, but the simplicity does not mean there isn't complexity in what you can achieve.
That's the point of it.
It's, you know, it's not simple software because it does one tiny little thing.
I want to do amazing things without it being complex.
Yeah,
That's the point of tech.
absolutely.
That is what you are very good at doing. Enough compliments for you because you get everything.
That made me uncomfortable anyway.
Yeah, it was awkward. Sorry about that. Look, thank you very much for listening if you've made it this far. And if you have made it this far, please subscribe. Not enough of you have done that. And then you'll get badgered every time we do more of these videos. But we love doing them. They're actually really good fun.
Yeah, that's it.
And when I meet people, they say, I watched it. And so we're getting a bit of feedback that people are getting some value from them as well, which is ultimately the reason we're doing them. Thank you for your time. And we will see you again soon.